Hello, individual. Joy Twassen here. Thank you for stopping by the Individual Collective, where we sit down with people who utilize what makes them unique to create value for others. Today, we have Shawn Carbonell, our first international guest, all the way from Canada. He's a magician by day and a recording artist by night, under the name Masta Ky. In this episode, we talk about his starving artist experience in the Philippines, his advice for getting over self sabotaging, how Stoicism has positively affected his life, and much more. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Now I
And
can't.
we're
I can't.
live.
Hey, what's up? Yeah.
You're talking about NFTs.
I'm saying, imagine like owning Drake's first draft of God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think that would go for?
Oh, I'm not a Drake fan, so I don't know. I guess $20,000. I don't know. Who knows?
Dude, the
But the
song
point
has a
is,
billion, like over a billion replays.
oh my
Okay,
gosh, that
so
Drake guy's pretty good, huh?
yeah. So it would be at least like 100 grand. If a picture of a monkey can be 100,000, dude, I think
Yeah.
like a song with a billion plays, rough draft, could go for like around 100 grand too. Okay, and then you get you code it so that you get 10% of each transaction, and then
Mhm.
imagine it gets traded like 10 times a week,
Oh wow.
right?
That just yeah.
It's not even just like one time a week. It's like some of them get traded constantly, right? And then look at Drake's entire discography, right? Let's say he has the rough drafts for all of those and the finished drafts. Has all of them on
Mhm.
OpenSea.io. Each one is going for over 100 grand. Each one is being traded constantly because there's perks to owning a rough draft or a full copy. You get to see Drake live whenever he's in town for free. And so like with those little incentives, people will be trading it. And then each time they trade it, you get a 10% cut. And you have like over 300, 400, 500 songs, and they're just constantly being traded. And you don't even need to go on tour anymore. Cause you're just making hits, and then people are trading it back and forth. Like, dude, the power is back into our art. We're not like, artists are not hookers anymore, essentially.
Mhm.
Because you know what I mean by hookers, right? Like Ice-T was
Yeah.
talking about this. He was like, dude, like record labels are essentially pimps, and then the artists are the hookers. You know,
Yeah. That
like
makes sense.
like, yeah, I don't want to quote him completely because that is a really good quote, and I'll butcher it, but like search Ice T uh pimp analogy on
So do you
YouTube.
feel like you were a hooker for a long time
Ah,
as an artist?
ah,
Did you feel that? Did you feel that way?
ah. Well, I haven't gotten paid yet, so something worse
Well,
than a hooker.
that's worse than a hooker because at least the hooker gets paid. So everybody, this is Sean Kyler Carbonell. He is one of my best friends. And we just started off the show talking about this new era that we live in, this whole
Hmm.
Web 3.0 phase.
Yeah.
And Sean was a starving artist here in the Philippines. And we'll get to that story. Actually, I want to start there. I want
Hmm.
to start with your parents, actually, because, your parents decided to migrate to Canada. This is probably like in the early 2000s, right? You're like
Yeah.
five or yeah, so they moved to Canada. And usually the mentality is I go abroad so that my kids never have to come back. They have a
Hmm.
new life and we'll set them good and they're going to thank us for giving them this new life.
Yeah.
But you, the rebel in you, 4 days after college, you
For
book a
yeah.
one-way ticket to no other than the Philippines. So,
Hmm.
can you please take me back to that moment for a second?
Well, all my kind of like life in Canada, I was growing and learning to love like art and performing arts. And so, titas and titas would always be like, "Uy, guwapo ka, ha?
Mm-hmm.
Dapat pumunta ka sa Pinas, maging artista ka." It's like, as one day I was kind of just like
One day you fell for it.
studying. Yeah, one day I was just studying and I was like performing and like all these things. Like I was like, might as well. I don't have any kids. I don't have family to like that like depends on me. It's like now or never,
But
man.
why were your titas and titos saying that,
Because I
you
would
have talent? Like,
sing.
what were you doing? Were you
I would
like
sing. I was
busting
like
out moves during
singing,
dinner?
singing and dancing, essentially. Singing and dancing, and then I really got into rap afterwards, and to a fault, probably. Now I
Well, I
focus
don't.
on rapping way too much, but it's because I have the most fun. Because once you get that
Yeah,
like, once you get that sick just like
the
line that
flow.
like
Yeah,
and just like execute it perfectly, it's like getting
it's
a
like
perfect.
solving a puzzle.
It's like getting a perfect round of Dance Revolution. You
Oh, that
know?
was that was a great game. I
Yeah.
sucked at it. I was more of a Time Crisis 2 guy in in a, what do you call that?
In the
Power
arcades.
station.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or
Great
time
game.
zone. Yeah.
All those Time Crisis games were awesome. House of the Dead was great too.
But when you booked that ticket to go to the Philippines, I mean, you're what, 21, 22? How old are you?
21.
21. So what were you thinking? Like, what was the game plan coming into the Philippines?
Well, I'm gonna go there and then just like be myself. Uh, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking
Authentic.
for? No. It's what pyramid scheme people do. What's the word?
uh,
What's that bullshit like thing that they call it? Network marketing.
network
I
marketing.
was like, I'm gonna go in there because like at this point, I was I've been in like 3 or 4 different like pyramid scheme like things. I didn't invest money
In
into it.
Canada?
Yeah, because they're big everywhere, but like
Yeah.
I didn't invest in it. I would just go to meetings and then they would hype me up, dude. They would like
Yeah.
be like, "You can
This
do it."
skincare product is amazing.
I would just ignore that part and then listen to the part where they'd be like, "You can do it. You're so good. You could do whatever you want if you just apply yourself and network market, make friends in the right areas, and get that sale." So that's what I was like, kind of like going in. I was going in the Philippines with that mindset, where it's
Yeah.
like I'm going in there and I'm gonna win, right?
Yeah.
And how am I gonna do that? By connecting with
Network marketing.
network marketing, man. It's crazy. And like I didn't even mean to. I literally just like went out and drank and like went to go do go sees and made friends.
Mhm.
Just average things. I just like when I was out, I would just make it a habit to kind of like have a positive impact on people. And that
Yeah.
in return positively impacted me because from that I got jobs. I met you, Marcus, Moves, who else?
It changed your
Inigo,
life,
them.
basically. It changed your
Yeah.
life. The fact that, well, obviously you took that risk, and it is a sort of Hollywood type of risk. I'm going to buy that ticket. Bye, mom. See who I'm going to make it as an artist. I'm going
Yeah.
back to the homeland. But what would be like your advice to somebody who is probably thinking about that Hollywood like decision? What would you say to that person? Go to a first world country?
No, like if you're itchy, scratch that itch, man. While you're young and capable and not
Yeah.
tied down, you know. So definitely do it. Um, it's
Yeah,
just
because looking back at your
yeah.
2 years, you don't regret anything. I mean, it was a wild ride for you.
I
Looking back at
definitely
it, like,
definitely have regrets, but I wouldn't like change them, cause then
mhm.
Like these regrets make me who I am. And I
Yeah.
like me right now. And it's like yes, would things be different? Would things be very different? Yes. But just would that mean like it would be better than right now? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
true.
know, it's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Because you know that you've heard those stuff. You probably know what I'm thinking about with regrets, right?
Yeah, like, well, I won't say it, but there are moments like you seem to be the guy who is all in or is doing nothing. Like when I visit you or when we hang out, it's like, oh, did I'm working on a song, like don't bother me, or you can watch me like work on the song, or it's like, hey, want to watch a movie?
Yeah.
There's very little in between, and that can carry over also in the social life, and that's not a bad thing. Like that's
Mm.
one of the best things about you. Like you're unapologetically Sean,
No,
and that's what
no, no.
everybody
Do you,
knows
do
that
you
you're
know
gonna
what
be.
I'm? If I had any regrets, do you know what it would be? As a
No, you
friend,
can tell me though.
Joey, you must know.
You can share it.
Take a while to guess.
Was it the time that you poured tequila down the ABS-CBN head or something? The executive, whatever.
Hey, you know what? No, I do not regret that. But hey, it happened on the same night.
I'm lost, bro. I'm lost. I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to. Refresh my memory.
So I pinched this important guy's cheeks, and then I got kicked out and lost jobs.
Oh wow. I
Remember?
forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad.
And you know who's important cheeks. And then
I
I
don't. But anyways, so you tried you're obviously trying to make it
Dude, I
as an artista.
was yeah, but like after
And
that I realized maybe it's not cut out for me because like in order like
yeah.
because an artista has to be perfect, man. And I'm not
Yeah.
perfect. So probably shouldn't try to be, you know?
I'm so happy you poured tequila down that guy's throat and pinched his cheeks, whoever that guy is. Because you know, it would be a shame. I mean, you tried this one thing called like Star Hunt or something, and I
Yeah.
I was watching that and I was just like, yeah, this is not meant for Sean, in a good way, where like you
Yeah.
have so much talent outside of what the traditional Philippine media is trying to mold the artista to be
Thank you.
nowadays. That I'm happy that that didn't work out for you, and I'm really excited to see
I'm
what is coming
honestly
next.
yeah, like in I'll I always wonder where I would be at, but I remembered like, dude, a lot of our friends freaking hate their jobs too, you know. But like honestly, who doesn't hate their job, or
Mhm.
who does like everyone has to do something they don't like, right?
Yeah, you have to pick your struggles.
Yeah,
Like
but
it's not all gonna be roses and
yeah,
daisies, you
and
know.
I constantly wonder like, what if, you know? And that is my one biggest regret, just like that what if, because I hate what
Mm.
ifs. But you know, yeah, I guess it's part of
That's
life.
probably one of the reasons why you decided to book that ticket to the Philippines in the first place. It's like you didn't want to have that
That
what
what
if
if.
nagging you
But then
the
I
whole
guess
time.
I go through the what if anyways, but through a more fun path.
But the
I
thing
chose
is,
the
you can
fun what
always
if.
create your own what if.
Yeah.
Like that's the mess up part. So you can even succeed in the thing that you perceive that you wanted to succeed in,
Yeah.
and you do it, and you're like, but what if I did that?
Yeah, there's
You know what I mean?
always
So that
yeah. That's
there's
that's
always
the
gonna be a
cool
what
thing.
if.
You know, I realize that's a really cool thing about our generation and like the
Yeah.
generations after. And also it's going to be a really like tough thing about our generation is how we have so much opportunity to do whatever we want. We're going to have an unbelievable amount of possible what ifs in our lives. There's so many what ifs that we go that like pass us by, which
Yeah, we
is
have a
like,
lot more job options now too.
yeah, I'm not
Like,
complaining, but it just induces a lot of anxiety
yeah,
and it makes people like, so much more choosy because everyone's thinking like, oh, we only have one life, right? Well, I got to do it correctly. Is this the right move? And then it's crippling sometimes because you really don't know if this is the right move or not because you only have one life.
yeah.
And then you
But
have
I
so
think the
many
point
what
is not
ifs.
knowing.
And it keeps
Like,
you up at night, It's just like, oh my God, what if? Like, it's not even for work. It's just like in, like, who your friends
regular
are,
life.
who your job, your love interests. It's like what shoes you bought the other day, what you had for dinner. It's like insane. How do we keep up with all
Yeah,
these?
especially nowadays where it's just constant but.
Yeah.
We have so many choices to make compared to
Yeah.
before.
Before, it's just like, what do I eat? Well, whatever I catch.
Yeah, like
Now it's
whatever we
just like,
find.
now it's just 20 minutes on Food Panda. Or over here, it's called Skip the Dishes.
Oh wow, there's a food app in Canada called Skip the Dishes.
Yeah, man. And
That's a great name.
still pissed off that like my teacher wouldn't let me do that as a final project for my web and app developing course.
What was your final project supposed to be?
Well, literally 3 years before like the Food Panda and Skip the Dishes, I thought of the app called UFO, Your Food Order. So you are, so your food order.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna be.
That's a good name.
It's like, yo, the UFO's here. Yeah, you want
That's
to get
cool
some,
because the whole branding, I can see the commercial already where it's
right?
the UFOs just like transfer the
Right?
food. Zzz, bzz.
Yeah, and then it would be perfect because we could integrate drones.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch Silicon Valley in the HBO show?
No.
Oh, yeah, because in the start of that, they have like the intro shot where it kind of shows how Silicon Valley has evolved over the years. And then one of the shots is like the drone carrying a pizza. And I'm like, does that actually happen in the States?
It's
Because I've
gonna, it
never,
has to one day.
over the pandemic, you obviously had to move back. Well, you visited your family in the Philippines. The pandemic happened, so you sort of got stuck there. And,
Yeah.
you've been
And
living there
then
ever since.
and then I realized how good I have it here because like in the Philippines, yeah, it's really fun, but
Mhm.
like
You don't
uh,
got the first world benefits, though.
sheesh. I mean, like, you know, like there's no, I don't have. Okay, number one, the hot like the just the whole like servers, hospitality, like the whole industry here
Mhm.
is just so much better because you know how in the Philippines they just like kind of like brainlessly work. And so
Mhm.
like a lot of the times when people like kind of like when there's a problem in front of them and there's a problem like that arises, they don't know what the hell to do. They're just like, not my job. I'm just here to serve
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm just here to serve customers, whatever. There's like, I'm just following the rules.
So
I'm
you
not
think the
gonna.
service is better
Dude,
in
the
Canada?
service industry so much better in Canada.
Hmm.
I mean, it's still it's okay. It's
But overall living, I'm sure it's just better. Better
it's
pay,
just yeah, just everything.
better
That's probably why.
scenery.
And also in the Philippines, that's probably why like people the service is so trash over there is
Yeah.
because they're getting paid like literally like
They're cheap money.
just zero compared to other countries, Like it's literally impossible to get out of poverty if you want to serve like it's
Yeah, I
impossible.
remember reading this
You have to work like
sort of
8
research
jobs.
report,
Yeah.
and they were talking about like Manila in the 30s, and this is like an American reporting the situation of Manila in the 30s, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, it's so disgusting. Like Intramuros is not what it was before." I'm like, "Holy shit, you guys should see it today. It's even worse. It's so much worse now." So you think that you being now in the first world country, do you think you're ever gonna full time live in the Philippines again, or do you
Yeah.
think that having a taste of that world? Oh wow, that was a fast answer.
Yeah. Well, it's because I wanna help by like, I mean, a man can dream, right? So this
Hmm.
um
Help in what way though? Like help the Philippines?
yeah. Like in my way,
Donate?
in my own little way, just like create
Yeah.
business. Like I know it's like if I want to make money, I should start a business in Canada where I get paid in Canadian dollars because that's infinitely better than getting paid in pesos, which is essentially why I like working in Canada compared to like working in the Philippines, because not only does it take freaking 3 years to get paid for one 10,000 peso job, like I also get paid in like regular money that isn't like essentially freaking monopoly money. Is the Philippine
Yeah.
peso, you know?
Oh,
Hey, you can
I
just
get that
make
though.
monopoly
Yeah.
money, and plus with the Leica gens, it's literally monopoly money. You
Yeah.
know? Hey, whatever works, man. But um yeah, so but what I want to do is like start some businesses in Philippines and probably like areas that probably need some extra, things going on in town.
Yeah.
Some like place that doesn't really have much going on about it, and then I'll like open a sick hangout lounge just for the community, and then maybe have like a few vendors over there, and then have people working at the shop, and then actually pay them well.
Pay them in Canadian dollars.
No. But I'll pay them well, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I've whatever. And then hopefully that'll start a buzz. I can open more places. People will like be good workers over there because, I think one key element in a successful business, like part of a whole holy trinity thing, is to have happy workers.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the big thing in the Philippines is you don't have happy workers because it's a
Yeah.
third world country. How can you
The
have
thing
happy
is like
workers?
when you actually treat your employees like they're your clients, holy shit. Then the employees actually work a lot harder
Yeah.
because they know that when it's real, when you actually develop a relationship with your colleagues, then they'll be honored to work for you, or they'll
Yeah.
be game to work for you at least. Because
And then
if you treat them like a cog in a machine, that's
they're
that's
gonna
the worst thing you
break.
can do to a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
they're only limited to that. Then, if you treat them like a cog in a machine, they're just limited to that one job. Like, but if if you kind of like help them grow and like treat them right and give them love and care like a plant, then they'll grow and they branch
yeah,
out. Not only are they
the
gonna
thing
just
is
like
like a
flip
lot of
burgers, they
jobs are
can
set in stone.
manage too. They can do
Yeah,
this, they could do that, they could do this, and they would be more
you
than
can
happy
see what
to.
else they're good at
Yeah.
also. Like you, because a lot of times a job will say, okay, you're, for example, like just in charge of marketing, but that person might be really good at finance or something else.
Hmm.
But I think we have really, as a society, have been so focused on specialization. You gotta get that college degree. Like, I mean, you took up web and mobile app development, but obviously you veered away from that.
Hmm.
So the fact that the previous generations had to specialize and it worked for that generation. Now we're in a time where you can be a little bit more free flow. You don't need to have one job. You can have multiple streams of income doing things in the creative world, things in the non-creative world, whatever sort of fits your unique mold. I think that's the beauty of today. You can sort of figure that out. I mean, it's a lot harder than just applying for a job, but
Yeah.
the point is it's a lot more possible now. Like you can actually start a business and online or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
Like
it's so
the doors
incredibly
have
easy to
opened.
start an online business. Dude, what the
Yeah.
hell?
I mean, you did it.
I
You
know.
started like just drawing on shirts and started
Yeah, I need
selling
to
it.
do that again. That was fun.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like you utilize your unique sort of combo of, hey, you know what? I like to draw. I like fashion.
Mm?
I have friends who'd probably buy this and use your comedy as well within the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think that was a good avenue for you. You know, I always feel like you're kind of like a Theo Vaughn who has never found his stand up, or like a Steve-O who hasn't found his jackass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you're sort of this weird off dude in the most, and I'm saying that as a compliment, but you don't meet a Sean Kyler every day. And the people who meet you, I always ask like, oh, actually they tell me, oh, I met your friend Sean. I'm like, oh, did he introduce himself as the magician or the rapper? Because Sean is actually very good street magician. He'll just go up to any person and just like choose a card, you know, like and just out of the blue. And that was probably one of the skills that allowed you to do network marketing so well. Oh wow, are you gonna do a magic trick for me?
Is that your card?
Oh wow, that was pretty good. I miss you doing that. I remember I took a video of that in slow mo, and we were just like so amazed. Do a magic trick. Come on, Sean. I'm sure you can do one online.
Okay. Okay. Let's say this is your card, okay?
Yeah, but you can see it.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
King of heart or spades, right?
King of
So
spades.
there's no
yeah.
other king of spades in the deck. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna
Just
leave
putting it back
there.
in.
All right. All right. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the first card on top, which is the Jack. Yeah, that's what you call it, right? The Jack
Yeah.
of diamonds.
Correct. Oh ho ho!
All right.
I've seen that move before, but
A bunch of times.
it always
but
gets me.
it's-
It always gets me. I still don't know how you do it.
Oh. I'm pretty sure I
But
told
yeah,
you
that's
how
one
a
of-
couple times, but like when we were drunk though, so you probably forget.
Yeah, it just must be nice to know magic, because not a lot of people know magic. You know, like you're the only friend I know that knows magic. I mean, I know this, which is the classic.
Oh,
Ooh, where did my
that's
thumb
crazy.
go?
That's actually insane, dude.
But other than
um,
that, I haven't met anybody
man,
else
magic's
who knows
really
magic.
cool. It's like it taught me that there's always a different angle to look at something.
Mhm.
You know, like it may seem like something right now. It may seem like oh man, this is bad, or seem like oh this is good, but it teaches me to look at things at different angles and different perspectives, essentially, because
Because you're
that's
creating illusion.
yeah. And what's to say real life doesn't throw illusions at you either?
It does. Yeah, that's the thing.
Like for
Like
example,
people throw illusions at you.
like for example, one popular illusion in life is addiction.
Mhm.
Like life makes it look like it's a good thing while you're doing it, while you're doing the thing you're addicted to, whether it be like drugs or alcoholism, maybe even video games, sex, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Life's illusion is that it makes it seem at the general angle, it makes it seem like really like a good thing, which makes you want to do it more, and it's hard
Or
to let
even
go.
all advertising,
Right.
like a Big Mac might seem
Yeah,
like
might
a good
seem
idea.
like a good idea, but it's not. Or like those
it's
really
not.
cheap foods that are just like, over there and delicious. Might
It
seem
seems like it's a good
really
idea because it's cheaper.
Yeah. So that's the thing what magic taught me. Like always look at things like in a speculative view, like always have a second, like try and look at it in a different angle.
Yeah,
At-
because
at a-
because you, I think, creating illusion
Yeah.
through magic, you can sort of call out illusions a little bit more
Yeah.
than the average person.
Yeah.
So you can kind of call out BS a little bit more
Yeah.
than the average person.
Just because
or,
you could
know,
call
like-
out BS doesn't mean you should. I'm just doing it because we're on a podcast and it's better to talk. It would be weird if I didn't talk. But I'm trying to just like be a little more quiet, you know?
Yeah. A little more stoic.
Stoic, yeah, because I feel like before I would just talk so much, like 100 words per minute, and it would if it gave my words less weight, you know, because
Hmm.
sometimes I would drop some real gems, right? But and then like there would be like a million words that are just bullshit before that, you know.
Yeah.
So
To get to the gem.
to get the gem right now, I think I'm just gonna just say what
Well, it's good.
important things.
Like that's a good point too, because well, other than the whole you figuring out or being able to see illusions compared to the average person, I think that you also have sort of become more introverted over the pandemic, which is not a bad thing. I
Very
I
introverted.
also like the pandemic definitely has changed personalities, and
Mm-hmm.
it's changed your personality, it's changed my personality. You were this wild sort of guy in Manila, like, oh, there's Sean. But
I love how that's
now
how you
you're
look at
like,
me that way.
in a good way, in a very good way. Just like,
Yeah.
tequila. Like, I miss that Sean. I miss that Sean. But this Sean's nice too. More quiet, has a girlfriend for over a year, able to hold a long-term relationship. He's a new man. Nice to see you like this.
You calling me a slut, dude, before?
No, I'm not calling you a
I'm
slut. I'm
just
not calling you
kidding.
a
I'm
slut.
just kidding, man. I'm just pulling your
I'm just
yeah.
saying that you had a great time in
Oh,
Manila.
I did. We did. You and me, man. You, me,
Yeah.
Marcus.
And you know, being here like when you're 21,
Oh, that was
at
the
that
move, man.
age,
That was the move. I'm telling you. How
it was a good
it
move.
was a good, outstanding move, dude. If this was a chess game, I would have I just ate the queen, you know. uh,
Yeah,
but and then I
but you
sacrificed
had
my king. I was just kidding.
yeah,
Uh,
but again, you had this idea of like, oh, follow your dreams.
mhm.
But what do you think about that now? Because I look at that phrase a little bit differently now.
Um. Well, this smart guy once told me, take everything with a grain of salt. It was Jerry who told me that,
Mm.
right? I mean, if the time that I worked for him was not a waste because he told me that.
Just explain to the audience who Jerry is for a second.
Oh, he's a guy that I worked for, making websites. It was good while it lasted, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was here in the Philippines. And anyways, yeah. So he said take everything with a grain of salt. So yes, follow your dreams. It's very important to do that, right? But can't just do it blindly, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of like have a game plan. It's a sport. You gotta have your plays that you're gonna make, counter plays that you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Have like some sort of budgeting going on, and then once you have all that kind of stuff, then do it. You know,
You need a
don't
game
don't
plan.
don't just go and be like, well, I'm gonna be the best at biking. Let's go. You know, you gotta. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna train 4 hours a day, every day, and then I'm gonna do these like whole like marathons, and then I'm gonna be third place. That's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
eat a
my
lot
goal.
of broccoli.
I'm gonna eat my broccoli. Everywhere I go, I'm not gonna drive. I'm just gonna bike there. Like, just stuff like that.
Yeah. So the point is, following your dreams. That phrase is way too simplistic,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it gets thrown around way too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a game plan is just so much better. Like,
Yeah.
follow your game plan
Yeah.
is better than follow your dream,
Yeah. It's
because
not
the
follow your
dream does
dream.
not.
It's have a
It could be a
game
crappy
plan.
dream.
Let's have a game
Your
plan.
dream could suck.
Yeah.
Your dream could be Hitler.
Because think of it this way, all right? It's like someone telling you to beat a game, but you don't even know the rules. That's what follow your
Mm-hmm.
dreams is. But that's
Yeah.
why it's like so popular, because it's so vague. But then people don't really like
Yeah.
go into it like hard. It's like in Skyrim, it's like, okay, well, I need you to let's win, and then you don't even
Yeah.
know that there's like a million a million quests and side quests, and just like you're
But
just like, time to win Skyrim, and it's just
yeah.
like, wow, I don't know where to even start, you know.
And it also kind of
I don't know if that makes sense.
pushes people into a corner and says, you have to be ambitious. If you're not ambitious, then you're not going to do anything with your life. But, a lot of people have great lives and aren't that ambitious. Like they're happy with a simple life. I just have my house. I'm fed. I have a great job that I like. I have a wife or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm set. But there's that sort of culture that we have. You have to be ambitious. You have to strive for the best and all that, which is all fun and games, but there is a dark side to it. And so I want to get your thought on that. Like, what do you think are the dark side? What is the dark side to ambition?
Um, the dark side is kind of like overachieving, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of putting the ambition ahead of your health, you know. And then also there's the whole there's the whole being ambitious for the wrong thing too,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like in the Philippines, I had this point where I was ambitious for just being just part of just overly ambitious with partying, you know. It's like I wanted to go ham, and like no one went ham before. And I was like, I want to
Yeah.
be the very best. Like no one, I want to be so freaking
Dun, dun,
drunk.
dun, dun.
Like no one ever was.
Drink them all.
To drink them is my real test. To pee it out is the cause. I need water.
Sean Kyler.
It's you and
I've been
me.
drinking every night.
I know it's my
waiting for the
destiny.
girl.
You pour
She's still
one
not
and I
here.
pour one.
Sean
Poblacion. Poblacion. Gotta drink it all.
Poblacion.
Poblacion. Dude, that's a theme song for Poblacion, yo.
That could be the theme song, Poblacion. You just gave a barangay a theme song.
Yeah, man. I know.
You
I'm
should just
sick
do that.
with
You
the
should just come
ideas.
back and just give barangays their own like rap song.
Yeah, man.
That'll be interesting.
I just love coming up with ideas. That's my favorite thing, dude. Just like it
ideation,
makes me
yeah.
feel not useless. That's kind of like my main like thing right now, is just try to be like not useless. It's which is I understand why a lot of people want to try and be relevant so that they feel not useless. So, you know, all these
Yeah.
people trying to be, you know, the best this, the best that, best this. Deep down is because they don't want to be useless.
There's an insecurity there. Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying
And
to
it-
like deal with too. Try and not be useless. It's tough.
Yeah, because as soon as you become idle, it's so hard.
That's how
to
depression starts, man.
get back. Exactly. That's exactly how depression starts. I mean, we've had conversations
Yeah.
about this before,
Man,
but
did you ever like see yourself like find yourself just doing really depressing things, like just acting like a depressed person, and then
For
that's
sure,
when you
yeah.
start feeling like one, right? So
Yeah.
like I had
it
this
just becomes this a snowball effect.
like epiphany kind of moment where I was like, okay, I know I'm not like clinically depressed, you know, or hopefully not, knock on wood, but I would find myself doing things that a depressed person would do, you know, just like literally
Yeah.
stay in bed all day when I have stuff to do, but like I literally don't want to get out of bed because I'm just so tired of moving, tired of freaking living, tired of even playing video
Yeah.
games. Like I couldn't even get. So
Well, that exhaustion is
yeah,
also could be caused by the depression.
yeah,
But
true.
like you
You
said,
know,
because
just
when
things
you're
like
when you're
that.
depressed, your mind is just too
Hmm.
active, right?
Yeah.
It's just bah, 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 I hate you, you
Hmm.
suck, blah blah
Hmm.
blah, and it's just
And
nonstop,
so
and that
yeah,
drains energy.
yeah,
Like before, when we were cavemen, you know, with the fight or flight response. Oh shit, there's a tiger, but our bodies haven't realized that, hey shit, there's no more tigers. You know, there's no more mammoths chasing us,
yeah,
but we still react that way. Like we still like give ourselves shit like there's a tiger somewhere,
yeah,
like we're about to get eaten, and that is fucking draining, dude. So I mean, it makes sense, and I've been there before where you're just exhausted and you haven't done anything,
yeah,
and you're just like, why am I so tired?
yeah.
You know, and
Like I think
you know,
the most important part about it is just to kind of put your big boy pants on and kind of be brave and not act that way, right?
yeah,
Because the
because
moment you
if you
get
act
up
that
and
way, it reinforces
yeah,
it.
right. So
Yeah, you have to break that
I'm
habit.
thinking
You have
like,
to.
yo, like I've been standing all day. It's like I don't even. Last thing I want to do is run, but let's do it anyways. Last thing I want to do is go up and cook some spam. But you know what? Like I need to get out of this.
Yeah,
Not do it. You know. It's just and then it's gonna start off really slow, extremely slow. But and then what
yeah,
you'll catch yourself doing these as long as you have that like initial like way of thinking where it's just like, hey, this is not a thing that I should be doing. Then you act upon
you
that.
catch yourself.
Once you catch yourself, then you'll start catching yourself more. And then that is called character development. And that's what makes life real interesting and spicy because your life is a book. And what is a book where there's no character development? It's ass.
That's a boring
Nobody
story.
wants it. That's why you
Yeah,
have like these problems. That's why there's all these like things going on so that your character development, because like right now you don't know it, but you have a lot of problems. I have a lot of problems. And our main task is to identify those things and fix them and figure out a way how to get over them to lead to our character development, right? To which
and love doing it at the same
you
time,
don't
not
have to.
like
You don't
dragging
have
your
to.
feet.
You don't have to love doing it. That's the super common misconception. Super common.
Yeah.
You don't have to love doing it.
Well, okay. Here's where I'm getting that from. It's that amor fati, loving of one's fate. So you don't have to love the thing that you're
Yeah.
doing, but like the fact that you're not. Oh man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I gotta do this again. You
Mhm.
know, like if you can almost trick yourself to think that, you know what, I have it pretty good right now.
Mhm.
You know, like there's always a way to look at it on the positive side, and it's just a matter of getting there mentally, which is a lot, you know, easier said than done,
Mhm.
obviously, because once you get into that negative mental loop, you can stay there for a very
And
long time.
now I knew we were gonna end up in this topic, and now we have entered the topic that I like to call the Mamba mentality. That is it, right? It's just like the machine,
Yeah.
the machine thinking of just like, okay, gotta do this, and then at the same time not completely hating it, right? But like having
Yeah.
that perspective. See, back to that whole perspective thing. Yes, it's trashy. You don't have to love doing it, but you have to. But if you don't love doing it, have a perspective, like find a different perspective.
Yeah, a bigger picture, a bigger purpose to what you're doing. Because, like, for example, Kobe or MJ,
Mm-hmm.
they'd be like, "There's gonna be one fan out there who hasn't seen me perform yet." That would be sort of the thing that would keep them going. Or they would create, you know, some sort of
Yeah.
psychomanic. Oh, this guy said this about me, so I'm gonna kick his ass next time I see him.
Yeah. Um, Mama mentality, man. That's I'm still trying to figure it out. It's a
Well,
real thing. It's like when I first heard it, I was like, "What is this Mamba mentality?" It's just like they're just trying to coin a phrase that sounds cool. For what the hell are they trying? You
yeah,
know. But now I'm like, the more I'm kind of thinking about it, the Mamba mentality is just a perspective. People think it's just
Yeah.
like a way of life. It's like it's putting on glasses, like the Mamba glasses, and looking through them, and seeing them a certain type of way, in a certain type of light. Like it's like you have these UV light, but instead of like being able to block out UVs, it's like all you could see is UVs. But instead of it being UVs, it's just all you see is success.
Yeah. And the thing about Kobe was he actually worked harder than Jordan because they had the same trainer.
Oh, really?
They had the same like gym trainer, and he said like the trainer sometimes just tell Kobe like you gotta stop, like you should relax, and he would always be like, nah, Jordan wouldn't or whatever. He would always come up with an excuse to keep
Yeah.
working. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kobe was an alcohol, not alcoholic, workaholic. He was a workaholic, but it was like but he was also a great father at the same time. Like, he didn't have a yaya, he didn't have a maid or anything.
That's
He was
impressive.
there, like he took his kids to school. He was there for recitals, for all these different things. Obviously, not all the time
Uh-huh.
because he had games and stuff. But when he could be there,
He was
was there. He was a fantastic
That's
father as
dope.
well. So the way that he gave everything that he was working on, whether it be being a father, his business. Like, he won a fucking Oscar, or I think it was an Oscar for Dear Basketball, and yeah, so everything that he applied himself to, he gave 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And even in his business, when he was talking to his teammates, he would ask his employees basically like, "Was this the best that you could do? Like, did you pour in 110% in this, or do you think that you could have done better?"
Yeah.
And if the answer is I could have done better, then okay, do better, you know. But you look at Kobe down to his last game where he scored 60 points against the Jazz. You see him like panting for air, just like
Yeah.
just like old. He's super old, injured, came after the Achilles
The
tear,
most
came after so
Kobe
many.
game ever.
That was probably my favorite Kobe moment. And he sinks the game winner, says Mamba out, and that was it, baby.
Mention Kobe once, and then we go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm actually making a video about how to apply the Mamba mentality to your
Yeah?
life. So thank you for bringing this
Yeah.
up. It'll be a good sort of loophole trailer kind of
Yeah,
thing.
let's do it. Oh, and man, like I would love to be back on, and just like, cause like what I did was just like for this interview. It's not even an interview, man. It feels like I'm right at home. We're like, this is our thing.
Yeah,
This is our podcast.
I honestly didn't prepare barely any questions. I wanted to keep it free flow
Yeah.
because I was like, it's Sean.
Yeah.
Like, I had,
Oh,
but it's good, man. Like,
yeah. We'll definitely do this again. We have to. Just more of like, yeah. Well, we'll just touch on like important topics or whatever. Are you sure? Because this is a lot of fun. And like, even I keep telling you, even like when we just have our regular chats, it's just like, dude, we just started
yeah.
a podcast.
I was watching it
Yeah.
earlier. I was watching a recorded
Yeah.
call with Mark, who, for the listeners, is one of my best friends. And oh my gosh, it's really bad.
Yeah.
I don't think we should post that. Like, we're talking about abortion. We're talking about like all these like weird. But it was
Maybe
great.
look
It was
at it
great.
at a-
Maybe we'll share it one day.
Maybe look at it at a different perspective, Joey.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right?
Thank you so much for shedding your light on very important subjects.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having like a platform where people could just talk and like, because I think talking is very important, and also you know how I'm trying to be a little bit more stoic now, so it's fun to talk to someone.
Actually, yeah. Before we end, I wanna tap on that on the stoicism part, because the last time I called you, like you said like you were reading Marcus Aurelius's meditations. You finished it,
Yeah.
right? Like, you finished Marcus Aurelius. How do you think stoicism has affected your life?
I think it's Definitely on a positive, just because it's helped me like just accept things around me more. Uh, and and it wasn't like anything that I didn't know before. It kind of just like secured those thoughts where it's just like, okay, so there's like I have these emotions and stuff in my body, right? In my soul, and then there's these things happening outside,
Hmm.
whether it
Like
be,
what's within your control, what's not.
yeah, so whether it be like I like sure someone does me wrong, right? But like how can I be
Hmm.
mad at something that is out of my control? It's useless. Cuz like even
Hmm.
whether or not I'm mad at someone doesn't change the fact that that happened and I can't change it, right?
And you can't control how that other person's gonna react,
Right?
anyways.
I can't, so don't need to try. So that's why I'm not going to argue with someone when they say I can't do something. I'm just like, okay, watch me then.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, let's say that negative thing happened already. What can I do? Like it's out. Like I cannot be mad now because of that negative thing outside of my body. I'm gonna let it affect my inside. No, the
Yeah.
inside of my body, like the inside of my soul, that's just this doing its own thing, and it's not gonna be moved or shaken by anything happening outside. That's what I'm trying to do. It's hard. It's really hard, but like you have to.
That's a crazy thing though. Like when you realize that most of your life is not in your control, because we
Yeah.
kind of like put pressure on ourselves, or at least I do, to a point where like we feel like, oh, has to be under our control,
Yeah.
or our life has to at least feel like it's under some
Mm-hmm.
control, But if you look at, like, you didn't control who your parents were, where you're born, which country, which era, all there, so many factors that you have no control over. Like, like my great great grandpa came in during the Battle of Manila.
Yeah.
What if he got shot?
Yeah.
Like there's so many of these factors. Just the point that you're here is a miracle,
Yeah.
right? I think there's like this is stat that's like the chance of you being born is like 1 in 400
Yeah.
trillion.
But just
So I mean, you have to fight a lot of sperms. You have to, we're great
and
swimmers,
like
Like,
touching back on that, you know, it's like, would you be mad at a snake for biting you? It's a snake. You obviously it's gonna bite you. Or it's like, would you be mad at a freaking
I
bee?
wouldn't be
Yeah,
happy.
but like, would you be mad at a bee for flying? A bear for like mauling something or someone? Right? It's
Yeah,
like their
but that's the
nature.
thing. The animals
It's
have
their
specific
nature, and
purposes.
for us, our
Yeah,
nature, like we sin. That's our nature. So I can't
yeah.
be mad at someone when they do me wrong or do someone else wrong. I all I could do is like tell them like, yeah, that was wrong. So like that's in the
Hmm.
sense that's what stoicism has done for me. It's like shed some light in that aspect where, hey, it's made me a lot more patient with people and
Yeah.
with myself especially. I'm a big doofus. So I mess up a lot. So it's helped with me and helped me accept myself. And
And
because
get out of your own
yeah,
way.
because like I before I thought like, man, I'm in it for I'm out to get myself. Like why
Hmm.
am I going out of my way to like make my own life worse and making stuff difficult for myself, right? Because that's what I was doing, and then now I realize, it's my nature. I shouldn't beat myself up too much, as long as I know that it's wrong, and I move past it, like it'll be fine. And
Hmm.
that's why I understand every single person. I think I told you this before. Every single person in your life is gonna let you down at one point. It's just a matter of time
Hmm.
because it's who we are as.
Even your
Yeah,
dog.
yeah. No, dog's different, but
Okay.
they'll built different. Um, but
That's best
like
friend.
Joey, you
I've
you
let you
let I
down.
let you down, Marcus.
You've let me
everyone.
down multiple
Yeah, all
times.
right.
Yeah.
So, it So once you understand that, it's just like so much easier to just like live through everything and like love other people and
Yeah, because you don't have
understand.
unrealistic
Yeah,
expectations.
and there's this saying, to love someone is to understand them. And so stoicism has just helped me understand people more, which in retrospect helped me love people more and love myself more. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank good question, Joey.
Loving
Mhm.
yourself is hard when one of your favorite things to do is self
Yeah.
sabotage. And I feel like that's something that you and I share.
Yeah. It's
Like
fun. It's like
we
I wonder.
we first of all we put a lot of pressure on
Mhm.
ourselves. And like if somebody gives us pressure,
Mm.
it's just like,
Huh?
like, well, that's okay. Cause like I give myself way more shit than you do. So, you know, and that's to a fault because well, I mean, I don't know because at the same time, I see it helping us or helping us get to where we are now, right? Because it having a big ego before did help me sort of get to where I am now, but I do see the faults in that now, where I'm just like, holy shit, yeah, you're way too cocky, or you believe in yourself a little too much
Mhm.
in certain things, you know what I mean? Um, but it's hard. It's hard to like set super high expectations of yourself, fail, and then give yourself shit about it, and then give yourself shit about giving yourself shit about it.
Is this
You
see
know what I mean?
like
So getting out of your how do you think how have you sort of solved not solved but like how have you gotten better at getting out of your own way and not self sabotaging? Because that's something that
you're
I'm
gonna hate
also
this
still
answer. You're
struggling
gonna
with.
hate this answer, man. Most people do hate this answer. You practice.
That's a good answer.
Mm.
Practice
You
practice makes sense.
because like there's
Actually,
no other way to do it. Like you just have to get hands on with it. The only way to overcome it is to try to overcome it and then fail to overcome it multiple times until you stop failing.
yeah, but I think that's a good point. Having the intention
Hmm.
to practice
So
to try to
that's why I
get
was
better.
telling you, like with the whole like different perspective thing and just understanding people more, that it just makes me more conscious, right? So now that I'm more conscious about like my self-sabotage, other people's self-sabotage, other people's this and that, once I understand that,
Yeah.
it's so much I'm allowed, I'm capable to try and to try and to just practice it more effectively, to
Yeah.
fail more
That makes
effectively,
sense.
because now I know like what's really behind it. So
Self awareness is key.
yeah.
And self awareness is like a lot of people think they're self aware, but there's this audiobook I'm listening to now where she says that there's this stat where 80% of people think they're self aware, but only like 10% of people actually are self aware in her
Yeah.
definition of what self awareness
And
is. But it's
I'm not. I
crazy to
don't
think
think.
that
I think I'm getting there. I want to be self-aware,
yeah,
like super self, because there's probably so many things going over my head, right? There's probably so many things going over your head. But the fact that
yeah,
the fact that we just need to know that, like, hey, being more self-aware with certain things, whatever it may be, is a huge help for you, because the in order to get better, you need to identify what needs to be better, right? Once you can identify that, then you're gold. Then you just have to apply and
yeah.
actually do the practice of trying to get better. Before, I used to be really good at it, but then the whole party phase kind of took me out of it. I felt,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's weird. But now I'm back. And now I'm trying to, now I know. Now, see, the whole party phase, man, that whole phase is now I know.
Yeah.
That whole phase.
It's like
And
Manny
that
Pacquiao Vit
that
water.
was a what if phase. It's like, what if I just partied my life away? At least now
Mhm.
I know. And now I know that it does no good.
Now that lesson sticks
Yeah.
harder
My
for
parents
you,
always said I need to learn the
right?
hard way to learn things, but I don't know.
Well, here's to learning things the hard way, Sean. Thank you so much for being on the
Of
show. This will
course.
not be the last time you're on the
Yeah.
show. You're gonna be one of the regulars
Please,
because
please.
you are definitely one of a kind.
And so are you, Joey.
Sean Kyler.
Joey Tuason.
Thank you so much, man. Good morning to you. Good morning
Good night
to
to
you.
you, brother. Oh, I love you, man.
Have a good day. Have a good day. I miss you,
Miss you
bud.
too.